Hi, today I'm going to teach you how to create a vocal presentation here in Canva. Excuse me if I look down to my notes a little bit. So there are a lot of uses that you could use this for. A few are podcast, which is what I'm going to be creating today. You could put your voice into slideshows so that you can present something to the class and not have to be in front of them, or create a radio drama, any of those type of things. If you do not have your computer out right now, go ahead and grab that and log into Canva. The link to Canva will be in the description box below. I am going to go through this video as a step-by-step guide of how to do each thing. So really quick, I'm a teacher, so I'm going to be using this in my classroom or one like this. I've done this for you guys being at home, not needing me to pause. If you are just trying to get to that, go ahead and I'm put the timestamp right here down below. But if you're a teacher, I am going to take a minute to show you how you can have me teaching this lesson in a video format in front of your class, and you can be going around and helping individual needs or people that just can't figure it out. Also, then if you have a substitute, this can really help them know exactly what to do and be able to help your students. All right, so this first one I have is an individual podcast creation. And I use this with my drama students. We do storytelling, and so we learn how to use our voices to have character and create those stories. So it's got a podcast example in it also, and then subplans for when you're sick. It has 2 weeks full subplans so that you can use them for maternity leave if you need to. And I use it for going right before we go into my radio drama unit, because they record their radio dramas, and I want to make sure every student knows how to record before we do that. And then I've got a group one also that I use for debate, and we listen to some debate podcasts, some group podcasts, and we go through that. If you are teaching a different subject and you want a different type of podcast, I've got ones linked in the first page of science and stuff that you can drop into the slideshow that I've got. So I have a slideshow. Oh, that's not the right one. There we go. A slideshow. And right here, we have vocal presentations and a lot of examples. And then we have, this one's National Geographic's The Greeking Out stuff. And then here is the video that we have. Instead of having this video that I'm going to go really quick through things, I actually have a different video that says the exact same thing as this one, except that I have countdown timers, as you'll see right here, that they can go ahead and it tells the kids how long they have left. So you can have me teaching it from the screen, and you can walk around and help individuals, and then they'll know how long they have, and you can just push play and continually go through the video instead of having me cut in and out and having to go back to your computer and pause. For example, I will show them how to create a background, and then I'll tell them you have 5 minutes to create a background and put a 5-minute timer up so that they know how long they have to do that task. I will link that down in the description below, and I'll have it as the first pinned comment so that you can find those 2 podcast units if that is something you're looking for. I hope it helps you in the classroom as much as it helps me in my classroom. Now let's move on. All right, so hopefully you have your Chromebook and it's open to Canva. If not, pause it right here. Everybody else, let's get into it. So you're going to go to this plus button and hit create. And then down the slide right here, you have a lot of different options. I'm going to click on videos and then do the regular video landscape. Here is the video. I am going to be creating a podcast. Since this is probably the first time that you're going to be creating a podcast, I'm going to show you the easy way to do it. And then I'll also show you how to create your own elements that would make it a little bit more complicated. All right, from here, I'm going to go over and go to design. And then I'm going to go type in podcast. And then right here, podcast cover, because that is what I'm looking for. And then I love this one right here. I love purple, so I'm going to go with this one. You can click on these different elements and change them. And then also, if you want to get a little bit more specific and more advanced, you can go over to elements over here and add additional elements in. So right here, I like these microphones, but I absolutely love this one, and it matches my podcast cover. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, bring that on over, and then make it a little bit smaller. You can mess with the color, at least on this image. It has these color options up here. So I'm going to click on it and just see what it would look like if it was green, purple, not as much, but I really like that turquoise. So I am going to go ahead and stick with this turquoise. All right, I have taken some time to change mine up just a little bit. I changed the title and I changed the color of this just a bit. We are going to move on to how to create your voice or how to add your voice onto this. So if I go over here to uploads right here, it's kind of a hidden spot for it. Then you want to go to then you want to go to record yourself, and there are two options: record a voiceover and record a talking head video. So I'm doing a talking head video right now so you can see how that looks. So I'm going to go to record a voiceover. You do need a microphone for this. Most of the computers that my school has have microphones built in, but if there isn't one built in, then you may wonder why you're not getting sound, and it could be because you don't have a microphone. So once you have this, you are just going to go ahead and hit that record to record your voice onto there. So I just want you to talk into the microphone, hit record, and say your name and something about you, and then play it back and just make sure that you're getting the audio to work. Now that you know that your audio is working, we are going to add some sound effects or music effects. So go to Elements over here again, and this is where we found the microphone. And mine right here has audio in my first few. If you haven't used audio, it may not be in the first few and you might have to type it in right here. And then you're going to want to find audio sound effects that work well with your podcast. So my podcast is going to be a radio drama mystery. So I might want something like breaking glass. Keys are a little sticky. Then I can go through and hit these play buttons and see what it sounds like. I really liked that first one. So I'm going to click on that, and then I can drag this sound element to anywhere I want in my podcast. So if I'm talking and then I say, and then the window was shattered, I can have it right after I am talking, and then it would sound like this. And I could keep talking. So I like to stack all of the sound effects that I am thinking I want to use just at the very beginning of my podcast. That way I have an idea of what it's going to sound like. And then once I record my voice, I can add those audio clips in to wherever is the perfect spot for them. But that way I also know how long I want to pause for that audio sound effect to happen. The other thing that you are going to want to add in is some sound effects. So I'm going to add some wind gust coming in the window and see how that sounds. All right. Oh, I like that one. It's a little bit more chill, a little calmer. So I'm going to put that right here. It added it right underneath my other audio, but I actually would want the glass to break and then the wind to go. So I'm going to make sure that it lines up right with that glass breaking there. My little black line kind of shows me that. So here we go. I'm going to play that part for you. And then I also might want some music underneath it. So maybe I want something suspenseful music right there. And then I can choose suspenseful music to go underneath that. That's a little intense for me. All right. So we're going to take a few minutes to play with this. I'll come back and have some sound added in. All right, I found some sound that I really liked, so I will play a little bit for you, and then I'm going to show you how to adjust the audio so that it's not overpowering your voice. So, yeah, I really like that audio, but it is a little bit too loud. Now, you're going to click on the sound that you want to be quieter and come up here to the volume and just adjust that. I'm going to have mine be pretty quiet because I want my voice to really stand out. I'm going to go ahead and play that and we'll see how that is. Oh, way too quiet. So let's go. We'll see. That might be too much. All right, I think actually that would be all right until I get right here. Now, right here, you guys can see that it gets really intense. We'll play it for a second. And I think that little bit is going to be extra loud for me. So if you want to just edit this little bit of the sound down, you keep it clicked over here, and then you cut the audio right here. And then I'm going to cut the other side of this that was a little loud. And that way I can turn down just one piece. So normally when you edit the sound, it will edit all of the sound. But right here, I'm just editing this little section, and you can kind of see that it has brought those sound lines down a little bit further. There we go. All right, so then you would be able to hear me over that. And then it did put my other sound down here. I'm not worried about that. I don't really care. As long as it's in order, I don't really care where it's at on my little timelines. And I'm gonna keep playing it. I got my blast rate. And I cannot hear my gust of wind. So I'm gonna click on that and turn it way up because it does not look like it is very loud. I'm gonna turn it almost all the way. Let's see if you can hear it after that. Yeah. And then right here, it's going to get loud again. I actually just want to fade out the music at this point. So I'm going to come up here to fade and fade out. This is how many seconds it will fade out. So I'm going to fade it all the way out here because you can see it won't continue right there. So let's hear how that sounds. And then it just continues with my wind gust. If I want this to be longer, I just have to come up here and reach this edge. Oh, I've got 15 seconds already. Let's see. Well, let me continue. It's not letting me continue. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to click on that just with my left click and put duplicate page. And now look, I've got twice as long of audio or twice as long as I had before. So if it does just stop right here, you can always just continue and click it right there. Yeah. So it just depends on what you've chosen. And if this is a blank picture back here and doesn't have the little extra elements in it, then it usually just lets you keep going. All right, to finish up, I recorded my voice right here. We're going to take a listen to it. And I'm going to show you that I got a little bit too quiet in some spots and that my sound effects don't quite add up or don't quite line up. And I'll show you what to do about that. So here's my podcast. Welcome to Be Free in Design Podcast Talks. We were covering Little Old Woman and the Broken Window. All right, so I want the broken window to come sooner when I talk about the case of the broken window. Add my audio on there of the window gust. And then right here, I think it is where I was really quiet. I do not know what happened. I just started whispering for some reason. I could, of course, cut this, keep that, and then re-record it. Or I can go up here and see if I can get it loud enough. If I can't, I will re-record it. All right, let's see how that lines up. Welcome to Be Free in Design Podcast Talks. We were covering the case of the little old woman and the broken window. Okay, so that's a little too soon, but not bad. And then that is way loud. I do not need to re-record it, but I do need to turn it down. Okay. So once you get this done, you're just going to take the time to make it perfect and everything that you wanted it to be. I do want to point out that right here at the beginning of the video, it does make a kind of interesting animation because I was already done all of this. So it's cool in the beginning, but I don't want that to happen every 15 seconds. So I'm actually just going to click on this last page, and then I'm going to say animations and go to page animations and go down to say remove all animations from this second page because I don't want it to do that over and over and over again. So, all right, I hope this helps. I hope you are able to create your own vocal presentation, whether it's a podcast, radio drama, or adding your voice to those slides. Thank you so much for joining me. Go ahead, and now it's your time to make something awesome. Please like and share so I can continue making content. Thank you.